everybody, we're back.
Hey, welcome to this one time. What's going on, motherfuckers?
We got a special fucking guest today. We got Jim Brogan, this guy. What's up, Jim?
Thank you. Hi, guys. Thanks for having me. Good to be here.
Thanks for coming, man.
Yeah.
It's my pleasure.
Jim works at in the news arena, so he's familiar with a lot of the equipment here, and he'll tell us how terrible we are. I'm sure by the end of the
No, I've watched it. It looks good. You guys are doing it. I mean, like if you're doing it like kind of. I hope you don't think it's the same. Like kind of a blue collar version of this. It looks very professional. It's well lit. You guys sound great.
That's what we're going
for. Or doing it grassroots, not blue collar. You're doing it grassroots.
That's right.
Better.
DIY.
Yeah.
I mean, we got fancy mic stands,
Fancy mics.
boom arms,
Boom, baby.
boom.
and
We got all that.
The laptop adds a touch of sophistication.
I actually made this out of cardboard. It's not a computer. I'm a prop fabricator.
You did build this table and you cut it.
I did. Yeah, it's not really anything to marvel at, but
No, but I'm just saying it's it fits. Well, it's perfect. for what
It's
we need.
suitable.
It
Looks good in
functions.
the shot.
yeah, it functions. All these fucking cords got to go.
Watch
but whatever.
anybody else's podcast. They're all sitting at fucking desks too. So
Yeah.
I think it's
Yeah, these cables. Well, it is just we need cables. Like, fuck you.
Well, doesn't it give it kind of that Mad Max kind of feel? Having
Yeah,
that?
sure.
what we're going for?
Where's
Yeah,
where's
see?
the skull? The skull. We needed the skull.
Yeah.
Oh, Bill's up on the shelf back here.
Up in the.
All your props have names.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you can use that one. Throw that one up there.
Oh,
It's not one I made, but it works. That's B.
I don't know if that's in the frame.
It is. That's good. Don't turn it. There you go. Oh, you fucked it up. God damn it, Chris. Whatever.
Such a fuck.
What's going on, everybody? Jim here used to work at a music store. A music store is a place where they used to sell CDs and tapes.
And at one
For
time
you
records.
millennials that don't know what the fuck a music store is. Yeah, that's where I first met Jim, and
What is it, 25 years ago?
yeah, something like
Should
that.
we not even say that?
He conned me into being in a fucking band, and the rest is history.
Yes.
But it was a good time.
So tell us about
music.
those
Specs music.
ventures, the musical ventures, early musical ventures.
Oh, we sucked. Really, we were bad.
Well, we all did.
Well, that when you start out,
We all do.
you suck.
Yeah.
But it was fucking awesome. It was great.
Yeah, we had a lot of good times.
Yeah, like when I first started, like him and Craig worked there too. They're like,
It's kind of.
I started working there. Yeah, I started working at Specs, and you guys were like, do you like play music or anything? I'm like, I have a bass.
Good enough.
Yeah, they're like, you got to come jam. We can make a band. And I'm like, all I have is a bass. Like, I don't have a chord or an amp. Or they're like, we'll figure it out, And they had this guy George, who was the guitar player there, and it was at Jim's house. And that was an old shitty house. He had a stereo there. We figured out how I could play my bass through his home stereo.
I did that before.
where I
Yeah,
started,
I've done
yeah.
that. I played through stereo before.
Yeah,
Holy fuck.
But
time
it was
ago.
good times, man. It's good times.
We had a good time. It's funny. I was
Fuck yeah.
thinking about like, and it's like so different than like where we are now. But like, and I mean this in the best possible way. But like, we were all so fucking mean to each other.
Oh yeah.
Like, I don't mean like I hope you die and your house burns down and shit, but like
Just a
we
bunch
just
of
said
assholes.
some cold ass. I mean, it was funny, but it was like
Yeah.
it was like
That's
we
what you
were
do when you're a
roasting
kid.
each other every time we went to band practice.
Yeah. It's we built up a thick skin pretty quick.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm like a fucking alligator.
So,
right
it's
now.
funny. I should mention before the thought leaves my mind, but Jim just said, like, it's kind of like it was meant to be, right? So it was like, it's a funny feeling because you only think about that once it already happened, right? Because back then you were
yeah.
just a bunch of strangers.
Yeah.
Well, it's easy to connect the dots. In
Yeah.
retrospect, right?
Yeah.
What you're saying, basically.
Sure, you always find a way to figure out to talk yourself into thinking that it's destiny or something.
That's the same thing with a lot of.
But it's okay. I mean,
Yeah.
Thoughts that people have, like belief systems and shit like that. I mean, you can talk yourself into fucking anything, especially nowadays with the internet.
Like heroin.
and You can, exactly. Yeah,
Or that.
But you can go on the internet.
I was just gonna try it once.
You can find anything that justifies some crazy ass shit you believe too.
Yeah.
On the internet. So like, I don't know. I guess that's where I took that too far.
you know how
Back it up.
you talked about like connecting the dots. One thing you'll find this interesting me thinking back on my life, I'm trying to remember when certain events were, like when I worked at this place or when I had, lived in that place. I base it all on music. Like I remember when I worked at Specs, that's when fucking Los Exorcisto came out.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's when I worked at Specs.
What's Los Exorcisto?
The White Zombie
White Zombie
fucking record.
Oh,
And all of us listened to that.
And the
like,
Beavis
so
and
we were-
Butthead soundtrack.
Yeah.
I remember that, the Beavis and Butthead soundtrack. Holy shit!
But yeah,
I
I'm
remember
like,
when Korn came out too. That was a big
Yeah.
thing that
yeah.
I don't know. We were messing around with.
But it's
all
like
kinds
it's
of-
cool. Like I think back and like I'm like, oh yeah, when that album came out, I lived in that house, so I can look and see when that album came out. I was like, I lived in that house in 1990. Okay, now I know that. Like I want to build this like timeline, like on my wall or something of my entire life, and just write down events, branching off.
Well,
I think that'd be interesting.
So another thought.
If only I had a big piece of paper.
Well, the other thought is like, so we, for most of our lives, or at least when we're a little older, like we're all now.
Speak for yourself.
I feel like our we make a great effort to document our lives,
Yeah.
to leave to have a record.
That's because
of
we're
everything.
scared we're gonna go senile and forget our life.
Which we will
Yeah.
if we live long enough.
That's why I want to write it all down.
I have been keeping journals since I was 16 years old.
There you go,
I
see?
still keep one.
Do you read back sometimes?
I was a complete asshole. Yeah, it is funny. It is funny. Like I just found one that I had found. I mean, I know where they are, but like I don't know what fucking reason. I pulled out. It was from 1998. Man, I mean, just arrogant, entitled. Like I thought I deserved everything. I mean, it wasn't like that all the time. Like I was still genuinely a nice person. But I
think
was
we were
young.
all
I was
rock
just young,
stars.
you know?
That happens.
Yeah, and I was, I mean, like I was completely overtaken with that because I've always been pretty self-deprecating about how I've been as a musician, but it's just funny. Like, I mean, there's like loss and death of friends, and I've always been like made sure because I don't write in it every single day. I'm not one of those people, but I'll write in it when events happen and shit. So I'll give you an example, and this sounds silly, but mine and my wife's cat just died. So I wanted to capture how I felt about. Thank you, but I wanted to capture how I felt and how she felt about that emotionally. See, that's where I'm not as selfish anymore because I can write about the two of us. And
Yeah, but a journal's supposed to be like your own.
A dick.
But a journal's supposed to be personal.
It's very cathartic. It's very cathartic.
Sure, okay.
It is. Like a lot of times, I don't usually express myself a lot. So
now your wife is like such a part of you. Then you want.
Yeah,
to
and I actually, and she goes, I don't want to read it. She's never read, never asked. Never.
Do you ever read over it and go like, oh, that was asshole me?
Oh yeah.
It's the same thing. It's like when you the tattoo that you get when you're fucking 20.
Oh yeah.
That's exactly right.
But here's asshole me when I was 20. Imagine if I got a tattoo back then.
Yeah.
I did. I did that.
Yeah. Are you happy with that tattoo?
Well, Scott fixed it for me.
Yeah. So he is now.
And the council rests.
I fixed his biomechanical vagina.
And that's the verdict.
Did you really have a biomechanical vagina?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, you can still kind of see it. It's got it was just that.
Oh, okay.
It was just that, and all the insides, it looks completely different now. But that
Turned
was
it into a guitar.
and its tentacles coming out of it, and it was like an evil vagina.
It was like a vagina with tentacles.
It was supposed to be like my skin slid open and all this funky stuff coming out of it, but
Which is kind of like a vagina.
it, sure,
Yes.
This is why we don't get tattoos when we're 20.
yeah. Don't get a
shit.
tattoo when
I
you're
waited
20.
till I was 35.
So did I. Yes, I did.
I got my first tattoo at 18.
How's that working?
Is it the one that I think it is?
Is that working out?
The tribal band on my fucking
Oh
leg.
no, I
'cause
thought it
the
was
90s.
Mortal Kombat.
No, that was my second one.
Okay.
That was my second mistake.
But see, now I have these awesome tattoos, and people ask me about them. That's so awesome. Where'd you get your? I love your tattoo. Where'd
It's
you
not
get
like
it?
just, what's that?
No, it's it's my fucking friend, one of my best friends. Did this for me.
It's awesome.
It's awesome.
Good shit.
Good job, bro.
Thanks, bro. Love you. So, Jim, you work in the news industry.
I do work in the news industry.
Is it everything you'd hoped it to be?
Are you a newser?
I am. I'm chief editor at Channel 25.
What?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I've been doing it for 18 years. It's ridiculous. I joke that I gave it my youth. I like it. It's my job. I work with good people, and It's a lot. Like, news is a lot, and it moves fast now. Like, it used to be much more like paced out. As I was telling you guys earlier, it used to be like a lot more paced out, and now it's like tell as much news as you can, as quick as you can.
So I mean, it's
and
a
the
local,
world is our cameraman now.
It's a local channel, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So like, this is interesting. This is really interesting because everybody always nowadays thinks like such shit of the news, right? Because
it's hard
because we don't know if we're getting it, if it's the right source or if it's like if they're real news even or any of that, you know.
Let me say this in defense of local news, and I don't weigh either side politically. It has nothing to do with it. But for me, as all the people that I work with, all the good people that I work with that are reporting, like all the information that we gather from a local level, it's all as legitimate as can possibly be.
So it's unbiased.
Someone would contradict
there
me.
is.
You want to get numbers on this? Let's start talking about news.
There is some journalistic integrity to the whole
from a local level, absolutely. I mean, I think in every one of the reporters at a station does the best they can to tell the best story they can, as unbiased as they can, and it's important to them to. I mean.
Well, that's what
social media has really made it sometimes a scary industry to work in, because like sometimes I feel like I know a lot of it's like CNN, but like I couldn't imagine being a CNN employee and like walking in there thinking some psychopath is going to walk in here and fuck somebody up. I mean, that I will tell you the scariest thing I ever saw, and I don't know if you guys remember this, but there was a dude who went on, I think, Twitter. He was on social media and he had his camera out, and he opened fire on a reporter and a cameraman.
Holy
and
shit.
he killed him.
Seriously?
Wow.
And he went live with that video, and I saw it not as it happened, but after he had posted it. And I mean, it was since 9/11. I have never been as scared as I was, because that guy like walked over anybody who worked in the news's grave. And I mean, it's a terrible thing that happened to that poor girl and that poor cameraman and stuff like that too. But like,
where
shit
was
like that?
Somewhere else?
Yeah, it wasn't in Florida or anything like that. But like, I mean, it's just shit like that scares me, man.
Sure.
That's. I mean, you know, for the people, like I said, on a local level that work really hard to do their jobs and report the best that they can. And all the media backlash that we get just as news. News is too generalized, right?
So do you feel like the internet? I mean, it's obvious that the internet has made the news like lose, or journalism in general like lose credibility, right? But I feel like journalists, like I know like accountants, right? Accountants, it's like an oath that they make, right, to be always like honest and truthful with the information that they get. So it's like this oath, just like lawyers, but fucking lawyers suck, right? So like,
But there's the thing is too that there's it is a job, and there are profits to be made. It is a, you know what I mean? Like it's so it's hard to like. I can see how it would be difficult to keep that integrity. It's the same thing like I find with music, when things started getting too businessy for us. I mean, it seems like there's definitely
How so? If you don't mind me asking.
We're just not business people at all.
How you said it started getting
other people started getting involved.
Involved, and so
trying to make decisions for us, and
but once you start talking about it becoming pure, a business rather than just simply an artistic endeavor for the sake of doing it and creating something with your friends, the integrity does get fucked with. And I think it probably works the same in
every arena.
If there's money to be made, then the integrity is going to get fucked with somehow.
Well,
right?
I want to know, like, if in the industry, if there's a name for a legitimate type news agency or one that is not so.
I think the waters have been so muddied at this point, it's really kind of hard to define.
Yeah. Because I mean,
if you asked me 10 years ago, I'd probably have a different answer for you. But right now, I can't, and that's no fault of mine or anybody who's. Look, I don't work for Fox News. I don't work for CNN. You know what I mean? I don't know what their behind the scenes are like. It can be a completely different lake you're swimming at that point. But
it's like
once this gets involved,
it seems to me like Fox News and CNN, like they're global as opposed to our local news.
24
Our local news is I can see it being
I mean, our
just
local
more
news could be their
honest,
sources, right?
more honest out of
that
necessity.
how it is?
Like
I only work in local
anybody
news,
that's
but I would
gonna-
say it's. I mean, I can't compare it to anything else, but like as much as we do, it's as honest as it can be.
Yeah.
You know what I think?
And I'm not.
That's
I'm not
good to
saying
hear.
that to like defend myself and my job or anything like that.
I think because local news is because those people are part of your community, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even those journalists, those anchors,
You're absolutely
whatever, they're
right.
part of the community too. So there is something invested in that. You know what I mean? That's more important, I think. Like I was listening to Joe Rogan's podcast recently, and he had Sebastian Junger on, the author. And he's talking about how people in our ancestors. They were in small groups of like 50 or so, 25 or so people, and they had to rely on each other, and there was a sense of community.
like tribes.
Tribes.
Yeah.
And we've sort of lost that now with cities and then the industrialization of everything, and now especially with technology, where we think we're connecting to everybody, but really we're more disconnected because we're not
Communicating.
really communicating.
Yeah.
Right. So there is. I think there's something to that the local news people. That there is more integrity there just because they are part of this small community and they feel like that they're counted on for something, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're spot on. I mean, I literally had this conversation with people that work at my station that have been residents of like Palm Beach County their whole lives, and they really feel like that.
Like they're
For
doing a
themselves,
service.
it's like a service to their
It's a public
community.
service, yeah.
I actually felt that when I was lightly involved in politics. Not politics. I wasn't never in politics, but
In the community.
I was hired to take pictures of people involved in politics, and I got to know a lot of those people. And it's kind of the same way. Like some of these people are like people that have lived here their whole lives, and they know everybody that's theirs to know. And there's like this whole sense like they're
It's a service.
yeah, it's a service.
So
They're
Jim,
doing.
so Kevin Barry has a question for you.
Okay.
If there was a news throwdown like Anchorman, what weapon would you bring to the brawl?
Oh man, that's a good one.
That is a good one.
Would it be your quick wit?
Yeah. I mean, well, how's that gonna do if somebody's punching me in the face? That's a good one. A weed whacker.
That's pretty good.
Ooh, yeah. I like that.
That is a great question,
Yeah,
Kevin.
a weed whacker. Good question, Kevin. Yeah, weed whacker. Nobody wants it. Like, you ever see like the guys that are like, when the lawn crews come over and they're doing that? You should see how my dog runs from that shit. That shit's terrifying. Actually, I run from that shit. So.
I just fired a guy that cuts my lawn, Black Joe.
We
and
talked about that.
Yeah.
We talked about it in the last podcast.
So it happened.
No, he's fired. But it's just
Such a dry answer. So dry.
I have a pretty big front lawn, and he would cut the whole thing with a weed whacker. And I kept telling him, because he's like 80 years old. I'm like, man, I don't want you out there in the summer cutting the entire lawn with a weed whacker, because it doesn't take one day. He does it in like 2-hour increments over the course of like 3 weeks, because
He's
really
continually in your
milking
yard
the
with a
job.
whacker.
because it's a weed whacker, man, and it's a big lawn. Anyway, so
Wait, I want to redact my answer. A leaf blower, because it's the most annoying fucking thing in the world.
Yeah.
And I feel like when I wake up, on Saturday at like 7 a.m., I feel like they turn it on, set it outside my window, and then go home.
I had that thought yesterday. The guys were doing the yard in front of my house. Now, I have a little. It's like you two have seen it. There's like a triangular patch of grass. I swear to God, the guy just parked the mower there and then went and got the weed whacker and started that up too, and then just blew all around the windows with the fucking blower.
It's the worst.
I'm like, it's 12 square feet. Why are you out there for an hour? What could you possibly be doing?
I was at a 4th of July party, and I was at my buddy's house, and I love this guy to death. I really do. And we're all like, me and my small group of friends are there, and we're all there. And then all of a sudden, like in the middle of the party, he decides that he needs to clean up like the 10 leaves in his yard, and the wives went shit crazy at that. And they're like, why are you going to do that now? Why are you going to do that? Of course, so now he's fighting everybody and blowing it. Meanwhile, we're all like talking to each other and we're like, oh man, I hate leaf blowers
OCD,
so
right?
fucking much.
Huh?
It's OCD.
Yeah, probably. probably.
OCD as fuck.
I wouldn't know anything about that.
Is that true?
So speaking of OCD, I somehow I slipped today, and
Oh.
I forgot something. I forgot my phone at home.
Oh, you're probably freaking out.
Yeah, I felt mildly, all day. I was like, oh, I gotta, oh fuck, I don't have it. And I went up and looked at my car. I'm like, I left it at home. I'm like, oh my god. So throughout the day, I'm like, I don't realize how many things I do with my phone during the day. And I don't mean like just checking like social media or something. Like I had to take a picture of a tattoo I did. I had to, check an appointment and this and that. And it's like, I usually do that stuff with my phone. So I find myself getting out my iPad, my giant fucking iPad. Like, I'm like, all right, let me try and take a picture with this stupid fuck. I look like one of those retarded tourists, at the zoo with an iPad instead of a camera, And
Don't you think it's more addiction than OCD though?
The phone thing, yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
the phone, yeah.
I mean, it's not like you're gonna tap on the board 5 times to go do
Right.
like whatever. Like
Yeah, it's like
more-
no, I mean, it's just the thing. It's like I have my phone and my wallet. They're always with me. It's like it's just habit.
But social media too.
Not really, not so
No?
much now. Like I don't like go on Facebook like once
The
a
phone
day.
thing is definitely an addiction, man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's like your security blanket, sort
Yeah.
of. Like if I don't have my phone, I can't call anybody. I don't know anybody's phone numbers.
yeah.
And how many people do you actually call
Like 5.
a day?
No.
Like in general,
Ever.
like everybody else you text,
Like,
right? Like all we have
Yeah.
to do with you is text.
Yeah, like I needed to text somebody today and I couldn't. I had to go on like Messenger on my iPad and be like, I hope you look at your Facebook.
Actually, that's probably true because I've received calls from Scott White,
yeah.
phone calls like
Yeah.
on the telephone
Yeah.
where you actually talk. And I'm like,
Yeah.
why
Yeah.
are you calling me, bro? Couldn't you just?
You know what's
text me?
funny? I've been with my girlfriend for
And I've been known
almost
to
4
call you
years, and
sometimes.
we've talked on the phone like maybe 5 or 6 times.
Was it dirty?
I've been known
Isn't
to
that fucking crazy? That's so crazy.
5 or 6
When my
times.
wife calls me, I'm legitimately surprised.
You're like, what's wrong?
And not because she's like
No.
like what an asshole. We just text each other.
Right.
So when she calls and then I hear her cute voice and I'm like, she calls me Lovey. She goes, hi, Lovey. And I was like, my heart melts a little bit. Like still to this day. And it's just like, I'm like, and she's just calling just because it's like she doesn't want to text because she's
Yeah.
like, do you want me to pick up something from,
Right,
like
right,
whatever.
right, right.
And
I'll call people if I'm driving. I'll put in my
Yeah.
earbuds,
I
and
I
I'll
instantly
call.
think something is wrong if anybody's calling.
Yeah.
It's like it's some kind of fucked up emergency. You're in an accident. What's wrong? And it's like immediately that's my thought.
I've been known to
Because-
call you from time to time.
Yeah, you've called me.
Yeah.
I always think something's wrong.
So it's all, really.
I'm worried. About it.
I call JC.
Everything okay?
I call JC Lackey.
Yeah.
Yeah, I call him. My parents.
Yeah.
Most of the phone time is with my immediate family.
Yeah.
Yeah. But outside of that, if somebody calls me, I pretty much think
My sisters FaceTime. They like to FaceTime for some reason.
I call like honestly now that I'm thinking about it, like 3 people. Like if I could get a cheaper phone plan that was just text and no calls, I'd be fine with that.
Please don't talk to me.
I'm like, I don't want to talk to you. Just text me like a normal fucking human. But I got it back. It was sitting on my desk. It was all safe.
Right where you left it.
Yeah, 50% charge. We're 25. We can take a break. But
Coming up next.
coming
Yeah,
up next.
So we're gonna take a quick intermission. I know some of you are gonna.
See, we're procrastinators. So right before we start, Jay writes down subjects, which is not really
over
whatever. Oh, there's
it's
subjects.
separate.
So, you're
So
wrong
there's
on all of
subjects that we should points that we should hit. And then we get
So we
into
wanna
these
bring you
banters
all
and we
the
get
news.
into these improvised conversations, and they
I'd
turn
rather
out better.
Have too many things to talk about than not enough.
Yeah, so you'll wait to hear about Robot Jocks later.
Yeah, we actually the second half of this
Coming up next.
A lot of pop culture, I'm assuming.
There's
Coming up next. Oh
a lot
shit.
of pop culture, a lot more interactive stuff coming up, and something that's you're probably all going to want to know about immediately after this break. We did some research. We had some people out investigating some things, and so there's what common thing are you leaving around the house that can poison your children? We're gonna have the answer.
Coming up next.
Coming up next. All right.
So we're gonna. Chris is taking a piss.
Chris is touching his little wiener.
It's got to be late for everything. So let's talk about some pop culture. Let's talk about. You want to talk about
There's
Spider-Man?
first now before we get to that, something happened.
Let me. I'll stop you for a second because before we left for break, we did mention something that you're leaving around the house that can poison your children, and it's actually your shitty parenting, and that will last for the rest of their lives.
Chris, move in a little bit.
Back
Jim,
to you,
over.
Steve.
Jim, move in a little bit.
Steve?
Okay.
Just a little. Yeah. So, anyways, a friend of mine recently on Facebook was like, I wish Michael Bay would just stop making Transformers movies. And my response was, well, who the fuck is going to make awesome robot fighting movies? Nobody.
It's true.
No one else is going to do that
I
shit.
enjoy those movies.
They're gonna find a good. There's got to be hope for that franchise. There's got to be somebody in there that's gonna.
I like it. I like it.
Look, I like stupid movies too. I get a lot of shit because I like the Fast and the
They're
Furious
not that
movies.
stupid. They're just like what they're supposed to be.
Is it broke?
No, we're good. It's just blurry. I don't know how
All right. I had a client I was tattooing, and he had his buddy with him, and it was right after the first Transformers movie came out,
Which was probably the best one.
yeah. And he's like, "Yeah, I think the acting was kind of shitty and blah blah blah." And I go, dude, it's a movie about robots from outer space that look like cars. They're fighting. Who gives a fuck about the acting?
It's true, man.
It's true. They're car robots
Honestly,
from outer space.
if they want to do,
I mean, why did you watch it when you were a kid? Because of that same reason.
Because they were robots. They look
And
like cars.
Yeah, but
that were fighting.
Yeah, they were fighting.
But what's the animated movie, the Transformers the movie?
Yeah.
If you want to do the real life thing of that, shot for
That
shot,
would be awesome.
Yeah, because that movie's fucking incredible.
Yeah.
And that's a silly cartoon.
Yeah.
What was the cartoon where do you remember the characters rode dinosaurs?
Dinobots?
Dinobots.
Yeah.
Like why?
Wait,
don't
I
they
thought
do that?
Dinobots were Transformers.
They were.
They had its own cartoon?
Wait, what? Were they?
Yeah.
Well, Dinobots were Transformers, but I don't know
They
if they
were,
had their
yeah.
own cartoon.
They were.
No, they were actual dinosaurs, and they put like something on their heads, and they were.
Oh, they got real dinosaurs to act?
Yeah. Well, no. It was a cartoon. It was a cartoon.
They had like metal shit
Yeah,
on their heads
they would
and
put
stuff.
stuff on their heads, and then they control them. You know.
I don't know what
He's
the
right.
fuck that
No,
was.
You remember, right?
Vaguely.
Does anybody know what
It's
the
like
fuck
an
he's
old
talking
80s
about?
cartoon or some shit.
Wow.
Yeah,
I don't know
exactly,
what
yeah.
that was.
That's
That
exactly.
sounds awesome, though.
Yeah.
I'd watch it.
Fuck yeah, it was awesome.
I'm sure you can go on YouTube.
That was one of
Yeah.
the staples. It was like for me, it was Thundercats,
Yep.
Silverhawks,
Yeah.
that dinosaur thing,
like He-Man or something, or G.I. Joe.
and humanoids,
Inhumanoids, yeah.
and
Great Babe.
what else am I missing?
You remember the Mighty Orbots?
No, I don't remember that. No.
Nobody remembers that. I
I
love
don't
that
even
cartoon.
remember
It was
that.
like a
I'm old.
Voltron ripoff, except like all that there was like. Hold on, I'm gonna have like because I just watched it on YouTube. There was Tor, Bort, Bo, Boo, and Crunch. And Crunch kind of looked like a hippopotamus, and he ate metal shit. And he was like part of this thing that formed this like giant robot. And there was this other kid that was like their commander and shit.
I don't know. That rings a bell, but I don't know.
Look it up on YouTube.
In
used
the
to watch-
'90s, Ninja Turtles took
I used to
over.
watch G-Force.
Yeah.
And what was the
Battle of Planets?
Robotech. Robotech. I was into
G-Force
the
Battle of Planets?
anime. It's Battle of Planets,
Okay.
yeah.
You remember all those
And I had all the
characters?
comic books and all that shit too, yeah. No, I don't.
Robotech.
Robotech, yeah.
Do you remember Robot Jocks?
I do. I do. I saw that in the theater.
Transition.
Nice,
you.
nice.
So I saw Robot Jocks in the theater.
As
Not
did
a lot
I.
of people did.
I convinced my friends to go see it, and they're all very, very mad at me.
I went on a Sunday with my dad. It was like a random thing. We went to the theater, didn't know what movie we were going to see. Let's just go to the movies. And we got there and we're like, Robot Jocks? We got to see what this fucking shit's about.
Yeah.
And it's like a cult classic now.
Yeah.
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 Is it really?
I need to watch it.
I don't
again. It's been
remember
a
that.
long
How
time.
old is
Talk to
it?
me.
How old is it?
Oh, fuck. I don't. It's it came out.
Late 80s, maybe?
No, it came out in. I went there with the Rape Tape guys, so it was probably 96. No. It was 93 or 94.
it was early
It was
90s.
93 or 94.
Yeah.
Probably 94. Now that I think about it. Yeah, I'm gonna say 94. Are you confirming, Jim?
Yeah, I sure am.
Barry says the Snorks were basically the offspring of Smurfette and a squid.
Oh, that's good. By the way, that's the new name for guys with top knots. They're snorks.
89.
89.
Yeah.
Wow.
So is anybody
89.
famous in
That
this?
makes
I knew them for that long. Okay. All right. 89. Sweet.
Yeah, I don't recognize a single actor in this.
But now that's becoming a reality. You know, there's an American team that made a big robot and they challenged Japan to a robot battle.
Yeah, that movie was before its time.
Yeah.
It really was.
Clearly, it wasn't now.
In a post-World War III, war is outlawed. In its place are matches between large robots called robot jocks.
Wow.
Their matches take place between two large superpowers over disputed territories. The main character, Achilles, is a pilot in one of the large robots.
Achilles.
The pilot, revolves around him in a match for the state of Alaska.
Did you ever watch those cartoons?
I don't remember the Alaska.
No?
That's
I've never heard of Robo Jocks.
What about the others?
We have an audience.
We have our friend Christoph.
Say hello.
So this is Christoph. This is Christoph.
Hello.
Christoph. He
Hey, Christoph.
he just came back from a trip to Iceland that was like on a whim, right? You just went by yourself.
Not
Just say
quite
yes.
on a whim, but yeah, sure.
We'll call it a whim.
Yeah. I had a trip to Germany, so on a whim I went to Iceland
Okay.
too. Why not?
And because we've been talking about going to Iceland for a while.
We've
and,
talked about it here.
Yeah.
We've talked about it here. So did you? You grew
I
up?
guess.
Huh?
Read that. You gotta fix it. Technical guy. But yeah, we're going to Iceland too. Hopefully next year, right?
Yeah.
Right,
I-
right.
All right,
I want
hang
to.
on. I have a question for you.
Oh shit.
I don't think it's. I don't think.
So
it's
wait,
wrong.
so you
I don't think it's in my power.
lived
Might
in
be-
your
might be
car
his
while you were out there, right?
It's his connection.
Not my car, but the rented car.
Okay,
yeah.
yeah. That's a hell of a way to go.
Well, that's a normal thing over there because tourism, that's just what people do. So they have like those tiny vans and they take out the back and put a mattress in and you sleep there.
And that's what you did.
Yeah.
So let me
That's
ask
incredible.
you. So let me ask you. You
Did
grew
you
up in
rent a
Germany,
mattress?
I grew up in Germany.
right? So Christoph grew up in Germany.
Okay.
Did you watch like the same cartoons that we were mentioning?
Some of them.
Some of them.
I watched Thundercats and He-Man and
He-Man. That's right.
DuckTales.
DuckTales.
Do you remember Thundar? Do you remember Thundar the Barbarian? I tried
didn't know
watching
that
that
one.
again as an adult. I'm like, this is the dumbest shit I've ever seen in my life. I used to love that cartoon.
That was one of the hand, but wasn't that the Herculoids?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It was part of it. They
Was
crossed.
it?
They crossed over.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. But anywho,
Right.
it's good
I'm
shit.
gonna go back into my audience seat.
It's been a nice time having you.
Christoph, thank you.
All right, all kinds of guests tonight. This is super.
So Robot Jocks technically came out after the Transformers.
Yeah,
I mean,
Transformers
it's not
are
really
old.
the same thing, right? The Transformers.
Right.
I remember
No.
that shit from those.
That's the first like Mecca, like Mecca.
Mecha.
It's different.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not robots. They're machines.
The machines, but
Yeah.
similar.
Ask him if it's fixed or whatever.
Nah.
What was wrong?
There's apparently no audio.
Oh, at all?
Yeah, for a minute. I don't know. Maybe it got fixed.
Maybe.
I think we're okay. Barry's responding to shit.
Okay.
Teen Wolf. Do you guys remember Teen Wolf?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Teen Wolf. Yeah, of course.
Teen Wolf was the first one was great. The second one with Jason Bateman.
There was a second one?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, here's the thing about Teen Wolf. Kid turns into a werewolf, has a good time,
Right.
roll credits.
Pretty much.
There's like no conflict.
Yeah.
You know, but it's
It's a
about-
feel good movie.
I mean,
it's
I'm not
about-
going to argue with
It's
that.
about those awkward teenage years.
No, there is a conflict. There's a conflict with the people that discriminate.
I never even thought about it.
You know,
Yeah.
he was a different color.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was.
He had a metabolism problem, is what he had.
Well, yeah, he had
Yeah.
a different situation going on.
Yeah.
He was
Well,
different.
also,
he
but
was just different.
He was kind of on steroids.
different
Too.
is
This was
the
before Barry Bonds, but he was kind of on steroids, right? Because remember, all of a sudden he's like an amazing basketball player when before he sucked.
yeah,
And
but that's
then
what werewolves.
He had an
do,
unfair
though.
advantage.
werewolves aren't great basketball players.
Well, Michael Jackson. I mean, Michael J. Fox.
They
sorry.
could be.
Michael J. Fox was like 5'3", so like you need to be a werewolf in order to play basketball
Right.
well.
Right.
Yeah.
And he did it.
But people got mad at him for it, and rightfully so.
Yeah.
Whatever. And he got
Right.
the chicks and stuff.
But then
you
at
know?
the end, he's like, you know what? I don't want to play basketball as a werewolf anymore. I'm gonna be myself, and he wins. He wins the fucking game.
As himself.
That's
As-
the
yeah.
fucking moral of the story. Barry Bonds, fuck you. That was a sacred fucking home run record you broke.
Does anybody remember the plot to Teen Wolf 2?
No.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know if anybody saw.
And I'll say Jason Bateman is fucking awesome in pretty much everything that he does. I mean, dude
Nowadays.
is a comedic genius, but
Nowadays,
like,
but that was, you know,
that was a turd.
Yeah.
It's a fart box
I think
of a
back
movie.
then his sister was doing a lot better with Family Ties. That's probably how he got the gig. He probably talked-
Satisfaction.
There's the Michael J. Fox, Justine Bateman, Jason Bateman connection. They were going to do a remake. They probably asked Michael J. Fox, and he's like, "Fuck no, I'm not doing a sequel to this movie." And then he probably knew Justine Bateman from Family Ties. She probably asked her brother, Jason Bateman. He did the movie.
It's all who you
sounds
know.
good.
It's all who you know.
That's all you
Sounds
know.
good.
And that's the moral of that story. If you want to get ahead, folks.
Just fuck everyone.
Become Teen Wolf.
Yeah. Teen Wolf. So, have any of you seen the trailers for Spider-Man that's coming out?
No, I have not.
No.
I've seen many trailers.
It looks pretty fucking cool.
Yeah.
What's it called? The Spider-Man
Homecoming.
what? Homecoming. That's right.
It looks really cool.
Does it now?
Really fucking cool. I'm excited.
it's supposed to
I'm
be-
actually
That's
excited
what that's
about
what the kid from the last Captain
the Avengers.
America
Yes.
or whatever.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
and like Tony Stark's going to be in it, you know, because he's like helping him out. So I think he's
It's like now officially part of the
Avengers. Yeah.
Well, hey,
well.
do you want to know the business end of it?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
know it. Okay,
Oh,
so
okay.
so
Enlighten us.
He has a 6-movie contract.
Who does?
Tom Holland, who plays Spider-Man.
Okay,
So far,
6 movies.
so far. But this is going to move fast, though, if you think about this. So
He's
like,
going to be in the Venom movie, I
well,
assume.
no, he's not yet. They haven't
Okay.
gotten around to that yet because they're not cross-pollinating that
okay.
yet. But like he was already in Civil War, so that's 1 movie.
Uh-huh.
Now he's going to be in Homecoming. That's 2. Then he's going to be Avengers 3, Avengers 4, which is 2018, 2019.
Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah. And then Homecoming 2 or whatever they're going to call the next Spider-Man. And then it's time to renegotiate.
Ah,
But this is my prediction because I think Sony would be foolish to just take him back and take him out of the Marvel Universe. What I think is because they said that, I mean, Spider-Man's the face of the Marvel Universe, whether
Yeah.
it's cinematic or not.
Yeah.
What I think is, especially with, and I haven't seen the movie yet, like I said, I was going to go, but I decided to hang out with these I made the right decision this evening. What I think is the way they're setting it up, and especially since this is how they've kind of done Spider-Man in the comics, like with Civil War and shit, where he's like friends with Iron Man, or he takes him on as a like a mentor, prodigy kind of thing. I think that Robert Downey Jr. is getting ready to retire. I think he'll be done with Iron Man by 2019, and I think that Peter Parker will be the face of the Marvel Universe after he retires.
yeah.
And I think that means that like
Is that right?
he's gonna hand
Huh?
Stark.
We'll just.
Oh, he's gonna hand like the reins of like Stark Enterprises over to him because he'll be a little older by then.
Really? You
25
think
or
he's gonna
26.
do that?
Yes, I do.
Huh.
I think he's gonna be the face of it.
Really?
At least for as long as whatever the negotiations between the movie companies decide that they want to keep. I mean, Sony could get greedy and be like, "Oh, we've done so well," and blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
But at this point, like all the Spider-Man movies go to Sony, like they get all the money.
Yeah.
So when he makes appearances in Marvel movies, in actual Marvel movies, like full on, or Disney Marvel movies, they get all the money. So that's how they're splitting it.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
So they don't
But I think he's
negotiate
gonna
like
be
a
the
split
face.
or anything?
The split is like this movie that's coming out all goes to Sony. 'Cause Sony actually owns the right to Spider-Man.
Even though
They get the toy. They
Tony,
get the toy rights.
even though Tony Stark is in
Yep.
it, and Iron Man is in it.
Well, because all that whole like cross negotiation kind of thing. Like so, when Spider-Man's in Avenger movies, Disney gets the money.
Right.
When they make actual Spider-Man movies, Sony gets the money. Marvel, DC, Disney gets the toys.
Right.
DC.
And this is how much we know about this stuff. So
I read about this
just a
shit all
bunch
day
of
long.
nerds. Don't
Jim
worry
used to
about
work at
it.
a comic book store too.
Yes, I did. I did. I'm
worry
sort
about
of
it.
fascinated with the business of it, though, because
Yeah,
that's kind
it's
of an
crazy.
unprecedented thing that where
With a lot of crossover like that, like
Yeah.
a continual crossover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You started drawing things, and all of a sudden you're like making millions of movies. You know,
Well, they definitely figured out something like that works here. Like these universes that you can just continually pump out films.
I mean,
Basically-
it could be endless technically.
Right,
like
yeah.
you can just.
I mean, it is
Just like
now.
comic
It is
books
endless.
over the years, they created so many stories. It's about stories, man. Just telling
Yeah.
stories.
Well, comic books today are movies. I mean,
Right.
nobody buys fucking comic books
Now,
anymore. They're $4 a
But
piece.
all the blockbusters now are the comic book movies. That's it.
right. So I feel like
Yeah.
maybe
something
are the movies deviating from the comics now? Are they creating their own stories?
They always have, but they always kind of like land back to like
think
kind of a
shut up.
classic story. They'll just fuck with it a little bit.
Gotcha. Is it all messed up?
Sorry about.
I think we're right.
Yeah. On a bit of sad news, I heard today that Stan Lee's wife died.
Oh,
That means we'll probably lose Stan Lee soon because he's.
Yep.
I think they're the same age. She was like 92 or 93 or something,
It's full
and he's like 194. You know, so.
That's why they shot like 4 of his cameos
Oh yeah.
last year.
Oh wow. Yeah.
I mean, that is sad when someone that old dies. When anyone dies, it's fucking sad.
Yeah.
But if you're getting into your 90s, man, that's a full fucking life.
I agree.
you've had a long
You know,
life.
it's sad,
yeah.
but it's also like, way to go.
Yeah.
Fucking did it.
Did you hear about?
Yeah, he'll probably die. He's probably gonna go like.
Did you hear about the Hugh Hefner deal with the mansion?
No.
No.
He put the Playboy mansion up for sale, and his neighbor bought it. And his neighbor said he could live in it and keep everything going the way it is until he dies, and then he gets it.
What?
Yes.
How old's the neighbor?
I don't know.
I mean, he's like a young rich kid, or
I don't know. But he's like not gonna. You know, he just gets the house, not
He's probably
Playboy
been to
or
every
anything.
single
You know.
Playboy party that
Yeah.
there ever was.
But he bought it, so like he's just letting them use it until Hef kicks a bucket.
We haven't seen Hef in a long time. Though.
No, no.
Like something tells me he's not doing his little thumb dance at
Yeah,
parties.
no.
And
I
shit.
mean, how old is the guy? You know.
He's got to be.
He's like
probably-
Stan Lee's age.
yeah,
probably-
yeah.
really?
Late 80s, I'd say. Yeah, I'd say late 80s. Tell us, Jim.
You think he's still getting them chicks? Not anymore.
Probably
Have you
not.
read some of the stories behind all that?
Well,
That's some fucked up shit, man.
Yeah, but
Like,
now.
no, I don't mean now, but I don't mean even that long ago. What was the one bimbo that was on the? Oh, that's me. Or is it?
No, not on this podcast.
When he had those when he had those 3 girls that were like Holly Madison and
Yeah, that
the
was
other
like
one
10
that no
years
one gave
ago.
a shit about,
Yeah.
and Kendra wrote a book. And I was in Kmart while my wife was buying towels or something, and I saw her book, and I flipped to just like the right page where like they're like, "Do you want to sleep with Hef?" And it was like the whole like line of girls that he like brought out to party, and literally like they just mounted him like one at a time, like 3 pumps a chick, Viagra loaded, the whole 9 yards. So like he would go through like 25 chicks in a night.
What?
I mean, and it was like a conveyor belt. It was like a conveyor belt of like chicks. Like they just did it
So
to
it's-
say that they were
so
with
it's-
Hef.
Wow.
It's way better than anybody imagined.
Yeah. I guess
Because
so.
I mean,
Wow.
like you always think, like Hugh
You think of
Hefner.
What kind of stamina? Like he's just
Well,
a
he
normal
was on
person.
Viagra. She totally said that. in the
Sure,
book, so.
but like 3 pumps chick, that guy.
and then it's like, just chalk it up to another
Bounce,
number.
bounce.
I mean,
Bounce
it's,
next.
It's terrible. You know.
No,
because-
it's awesome.
No. Yeah, but no.
No, just kidding.
There, you can't. No. That's.
He's 91.
91.
91.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
That's another guy. You got. I mean, yeah, right. So, right. Look, those girls know what they're doing.
Yeah.
He's not fucking Bill Cosby or anything. You know what I mean? Like,
They're like, hey, you want to fuck Hef?
that shit's fucked
He
up.
puts it on the table. He's like, this is the deal.
He's like, look, yeah, here it is. Anybody? I don't think he was forcing anybody to do anything.
No, it seemed more like it was like a tradition with the girls.
Right.
Like whoever was head of the house at the time was just like,
Fuck.
all right, it's time to spend a little time with Hef.
that
And it
guy
was
is
just-
so old that his habits became tradition.
Oh my god. That's amazing.
fuck.
That's incredible.
Who's gonna take over?
Harry says that's
Did he
a
ever
true
have any
robot
kids?
job.
Yeah, he's got a lot of
That is
kids.
the true
Oh, does he?
He's got a lot of kids, and I think his two sons
Jock.
are actually running the company now.
Oh, okay. But now they don't even do nudes, so they do.
Oh, they,
like,
they do
they're
it
going
again
back.
now.
Oh, nice.
They're going back.
That was a publicity stunt. But all the pictures now are like 70s looking. They're like
Well, the
Like
thing is-
70s Bush kind of thing.
some yeah, but like
Yeah,
the
they went
processing,
retro.
they went retro with all the photo processing. Everything's like that.
Everything is like that now,
hazy
yeah.
kind of look, and yeah, they're just trying something different.
Trying to keep it fresh.
Well,
Yeah.
that's
All
the
this
kind.
free
That's the
porn
thing
out
now.
there.
That's the look now with the girls in fashion. It's like
Well,
a retro look.
You know that when he first went, they were like, we're not going to do nude anymore. You can get porn online all day long for free. And my response to that was it's not porn though. I want to look at the photography aspect.
Yeah.
You know, like the hot chicks.
you're
you know,
also the minority.
But I want to see those awesome pictures of those hot chicks naked. You know, if I wanted to see scantily
So-
clad pictures, I
I
could
will
just
say
fucking
this.
go
I will
outside.
say this. Like,
As you know, from a photographer standpoint.
sure.
you know.
I'm not a photographer.
I'm a minority. I know.
I'm not a photographer, but and I totally love porn. but I do appreciate like well taken photos of
Yeah.
like nudes.
So I actually,
Like, I really
I
appreciate
actually
it.
watched a stupid show on Netflix. It's a like a documentary.
After porn,
I watched the first one. I didn't watch the
I didn't watch the
I
second
watched
one
the
yet.
first one, yeah, and there was.
It's
this-
interesting.
It's very interesting, you know, because like there's this chick who's like, well, at first my parents were like, whatever, and then they started seeing the nicer pictures, like when
Yeah.
she signed with like Vivid or one of
Yeah.
those big companies, and they were like, oh, okay, you know, like all of a sudden it's okay, you know, because
Yeah.
they started seeing nicer pictures. So there is an argument to that, I think, you know.
Oh, I remember there was one girl that was in that was a Mensa candidate, and they didn't let her into Mensa because of her career, and eventually they did.
Really?
I can't remember what her. It was like Tia Carrera, but it was like
but not
another.
her.
Yeah, she looked like her, so she
Asia,
used her
Asia,
name.
Asia.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Lucky guess,
Asia
Chris.
Carrera.
Wow.
Didn't Vanessa Williams get her Miss America title
Yeah.
stripped because of that shit?
Mm-hmm.
Because she
And became the most famous
yeah,
Miss America ever. Whether she was stripped of the title or
she
not.
won that fucking shit.
Well, I mean, can you name another Miss America that you remember?
No.
Well done, Vanessa.
Well done,
Well
Vanessa.
done.
What's Kevin saying?
So,
So Kevin says there's a random nugget. There's a new show that debuts tonight on FX, all about crack and how it became an epidemic in the 80s.
Snowfall.
It's called Snowfall. Yeah, I've actually seen the. Yeah, that looked interesting.
Snowfall.
I've been watching on the History Channel. They've had this. I guess it's a mini series. I don't know what the fuck you call it these days, but it's called War on Drugs, and it's just like the history of the war on drugs. And it's like there's 2-hour episodes, and I think there's like 3 or 4 of them. And they start like when the war on drugs started, which was like in the late '60s, I guess. And it goes all the way up through modern times, and it's fucking fascinating.
Really?
Even if you don't care about drugs.
Well, what is it?
It's called War on Drugs on the History Channel. It's fucking awesome.
I think they're on Netflix too. No. There's a show on Netflix that's like the 60s, the 70s.
Yeah.
It's a
80s.
CNN documentary.
Yeah.
This,
Is it?
I was just
Okay.
watching the '70s one, and I
I think I saw that.
I was trying to watch something else, but they were talking about like '70s music, which I love the shit out of, and it was like coming up. We're going to talk about like Blondie and Aerosmith and Kiss. So of course I'm going to watch that.
Yeah.
They never showed Blondie or Aerosmith or Kiss the whole time. I mean, they showed Heart, and it was still good. It was still good, and it's a really good documentary. Like
Yeah.
with all those ones through the generation, because I think they're going to start the '90s. I think this weekend, but they're all really well put together. Like I love seeing all that old
Yeah.
footage from the '70s, like
Yeah.
old rock shows and shit like that
Yeah.
from the '70s. I really like that, but don't advertise if you like. If I want to see like Aerosmith in their like heavy drug era and stuff.
Yeah.
Kiss when they were working their asses
I
off.
want to see the Fleetwood Mac shit. Like I want to see like behind the scenes.
They had that. They had some
they
of
have
that.
it?
Fleetwood Mac they did have because they talked about Rumors the whole time.
Right.
Which
Is that
is an
Rumors
amazing record.
album?
Like they all hated each other.
It was,
They were all fucking each other and doing drugs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
and wrote an album about it.
yeah, and it's one of the greatest albums ever.
I
Yeah.
agree.
I agree.
So I'm going to bring something up.
What you got? Put it on the table, bud.
Put it right here.
Right there.
Yeah. No, it's just reminiscing though. Yeah, so out of this lineup right here tonight, right? It's a great show. We're having so much fun. So
It's okay.
we're gonna talk about karaoke.
Karaoke.
Oh, the karaoke contest.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So Jim and
I wasn't gonna bring it up.
I wasn't going to bring it up.
Yeah, I figured like it's it's whatever.
Sorry, that was me.
right. So we were in a karaoke contest. This was
2008.
It was awesome.
2010.
Oh, 2010.
2010.
Okay.
It was at Roxy's downtown West Palm, and it was a fucking like 7-month
Nine.
like. Was it 9?
It was 9.
It was the most grueling like. I don't know. So
It
anyway,
was horribly long.
It was
And
like
the, and the rules changed on a daily basis.
the rules were constantly changing. It was not put together well at all. However, the winner gets $25,000. So I had originally I had no interest. It was Greg, our old guitarist, that was like, dude, you have to do this. And I'm like, I don't really,
Like, that's a
He
long
talked-
time.
He talked me into it because he's like, dude, $25,000, and he's talking me up. He's like, you could win this. You could win this.
You could help the band and
You could
stuff.
help- yeah, right. Yeah. So
I thought it would help mine.
You can buy us all new equipment.
yeah. So I'm like, all right, I'll do it, dude. That whole thing was like, I mean, so I had, you had to bring people there to sort of support you, and most of the people I knew were from down south, so they're driving up 45 minutes like every.
And you'd be there
other week.
all fucking night
all
long.
fucking
night.
night. It was retarded long.
Each night you'd sing, what, 3 songs?
It's been on the night. Some nights
Yeah.
we sang 5 songs in a row.
And they constantly changed like what it was, like whether you had the fucking song lyrics in front of you or like I don't know. They
Or you picked a song that you knew
Right,
and you
picked
had
a
no
song
words.
you knew, or they picked one for you. It was fucking crazy. Anyway, so at the end of the whole thing, the last night was what, 10 people, the 10 finalists or whatever,
I think 12.
or 12.
Or no, there were 10. They had the wild card. I was the wild card,
Okay.
and I'll explain that in a minute.
Okay.
'cause-
So Jim won. I came in second place.
For the record, I always applauded for both of you guys equally.
I know. I
I'm like,
So-
I'm not going to pick one. They're both my friends.
So I was definitely sour after that whole thing.
Not as sour as that one guy, though.
Oh, I know.
That-
exactly. Yeah.
that douche.
He threw a flight.
Yeah.
He threw a ladder down the
People
stairs.
were upset. People were very upset.
Yeah.
After that entire thing, like, granted, the emotions are going to be high. And
It is 25 grand.
It's 25.
Well, there should have been a second and third
Well, okay,
place
so that's
prize.
the other
Yeah.
thing. That's the other thing. Is I think every other year that they did that thing, there was. I don't know what those prizes were. I may be wrong about that. I
Bar
don't know.
tab.
But yeah, so second place was great job. And I was like, and I was a little upset about that. I was a little upset. And I actually talked to what was her name? What was the
Melissa?
no, the
Whatever.
the judge that was
Bobby?
I talked to Bobby like after the whole thing, and she's like, hey, you did a great job. You should be proud. You should be proud. You came in second place. Look, I'm on this shit for pride. What the fuck are you talking about? I'm in for 25 large.
All right, let me explain my end of things too. So they gave us rules, and then they said you have to play. There was a point where the top 10, I think it was top 12. Top 12 had to play a specific date, and it was because we were playing 5 songs, and there were like 4 people that would play over the course of like 3 weeks. So my date was in May. And they were like, you have to be there for that specific date and not any date afterwards. And I was like, okay. And so I showed up for that day, and I did my thing, and then I had a family emergency down in the Keys. My folks lived down in the Keys at the time, and I was down there, and I got a text message that said, why aren't you here? Because there was a lot of good people in that contest, especially people that were in the finals. And God, it's really quiet in here all of a sudden.
No, I just got to know.
So I'll tell you why they did bring me back. But I will say this: in the first year of the contest, they brought back a wild card. They did it the year before. I'm the same fucking
What are
thing.
you doing over there?
Go for it. No, I'm listening.
So I was just happy to come back because I just wanted to finish it. And it was like after all my friends were pissed, and I was like, am I going to get my friends there on July 4th? I don't know. So came back. I did the contest, and I think the only difference of whatever had happened, I chose, and they always put me on last or second to last. So somebody left me I Love Rock and Roll, and I was like, all right, well, I can play with the band because we all got to know the band. We were doing the fucking contest for 9 months.
Roger.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
We have a history with Roger in the after that. Yeah.
So really, it wasn't a history of that.
Right. So it's like weird.
But I'll tell you something more after everything that happened. So all the judges were new, except for Bobby.
Right.
So it was a clean slate. Like everybody just got in there. So everybody got like the random thing, and then the one that they chose for us acoustically, and then the song we picked for ourselves at the end. And I don't know why anybody didn't pick that song, but that's the song I ended with. That song is exactly in my vocal wheelhouse, and I knew that I could play with the band and play with the audience on that. And I think that's where I chose smartly.
Right.
Yeah.
I never will say that I'm the best singer in the world. I'm a good singer, but I'm not the best singer in the world. I know where my wheelhouse is, and that's where I picked it.
Right.
I don't know if you know this, but because they chose me, they wanted to extend the contest, and it was 3 o'clock in the morning at that point, to make sure that I was given a song that would take me out of it.
Really?
Yes. Yeah. They wanted to keep it going, and then somebody made a final decision to go, it's fucking 3 o'clock in the morning, call it.
Wow.
Call it.
That was probably because they probably saw the way some
people thought that I would have taken a buyout on that,
right.
Which is not true. No, none of that is true. And let me tell you something. The guy who threw
who was the
ladder
guy
down the stairs. I'm not going to call his name out.
Okay. Tell me later.
Yeah, I will. Yeah, I will. But he threw the ladder down the stairs, and he also we saw him at Denny's. I took a lot of shit for this contest. I took a lot, and it hurt my feelings because I always wanted to get like a little respect and among my peers, and at that time I was like, God, like everyone, like, do people just think I'm a fucking hack?
Right. I think like, so from my perspective, I think it was a perfect storm of a number of things. The reason why people got upset about it, and I don't think it was like a personal thing on you as much as it was like, first of all, we've been through this grueling fucking thing, right? Which I don't think anybody was fucking happy about the rules changing constantly and this being like drawn out.
Disorganized. It was
completely disorganized over 9 months. Number one, so everybody's already like emotions are fucking high just from the way the thing was set up.
And 9 months later,
right? And then on top of that, and then there was the thing with you being disqualified because you didn't come to the thing, and then you were back in, and.
But I was brought in because I was the one. I really brought a lot of people.
Right.
So he wanted my commerce.
Absolutely. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I'm saying this is probably the why these are the things that cause people to get upset.
Yeah.
And then, so
somebody threw a ladder? I don't remember that.
I don't remember that. But anyway, yeah, so
if somebody's watching this, they're gonna know exactly what we're talking about.
You shouldn't throw ladders, no matter how mad
down a
you
flight
get.
of stairs, especially.
So what it got people talking, because I remember it is probably the same person. I don't know, but we'll find out. But like, there was like conspiracy theory shit going on from probably the same person talking to me, saying like yeah, or it was just paid off or whatever.
I wasn't.
Like, there was some sort of backdoor deal or something like that, and there was all this shit that people were talking about. Yeah.
Okay.
So. Okay. Yeah. So. Anyway, whatever. This was fucking long time ago, but it's not,
Well, at least we got to talk about it.
Yeah, but now I feel like I had a therapy session.
No,
put it to rest.
You had an amazing night that night, for real, and you totally earned it, and you can't take that away.
Well, and I was saying,
but I'm just saying, like, this is where I think some of that animosity came from, and it wasn't like, fuck Jim Brogan. It was like, fuck this contest.
Yeah.
Because everybody was upset. Like, another thing was, all the new judges. Now, you can look at that from a different a couple different
You
perspectives.
should have the same judges throughout the entire
couple
thing.
But we didn't. We
I
didn't
know.
The last
They're
night.
always different.
Right. And so people are upset about that too. They're like, oh, these people have never seen what we've been through for the last 9 fucking months. And all, they're
Yeah.
making decisions on this $25,000.
Yeah.
So there was a number of things that came into play, and it was a shocker. It was a shocker, and then everyone was like, fuck you, what, there's no, yeah, so, whatever.
Yeah.
You did great.
Thank you. So, I mean, and so did you. And
You did great too.
And honestly, like of all people that were like,
Bravo!
like, all the people that were in this, I was like, I mean, literally, like when your name.
Well, they never called my name because, well, right, they did. When they called my name, wait, they said,
But I'll say this, I remember this. You got Walk This Way, and when you had that song,
yeah.
you took off your shirt and you had a Run DMC shirt on, and I heard a whole group of people going behind me going conspiracy.
So everybody was,
He would wear that
everybody
shit
was
every
ready.
day.
Yeah.
Everybody was ready to fucking pounce.
But I'll say this: somewhere there's a YouTube clip on there, and like none of it's performance. Like there's no fucking performances on there. But somebody caught of when they called the winners and shit, and just as we were like, there was like a whole like group of people, and it's on YouTube somewhere.
Is it really?
Yeah, somewhere. But I will say this.
Wow.
But I will say this, and I got mad love for you for this. Just right before that video ends, because it was just as people were like coming out, you came up and hugged me, and that's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
That's. Can we do this again?
Yay!
I do have mad affection for you, dude. And-
Yeah, no, dude, and I've always, I mean, we knew each other before that
yeah.
contest, and I've never changed my opinion about you. I think you're a great dude.
Thank you.
You're a great
Um,
performer.
same to you.
And,
He's okay.
That's all that matters. That's all that matters. That's all.
I remember just being drunk watching him play kill the show, and I was like, dude, I'm such a fan. I'm such a fan. I was like, I mean, you just kill it live. Like, I mean, listen, sometimes I can be a little conceited about myself, and I was like, I'm a pretty good front man. And then I watch you, and I was like, lessons can be learned. Lessons can be learned.
I from just from knowing both of you, you both have a completely different thing. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
your presence is as polar, I think, as it could be. Like you are more like I don't know, refined. I would say like kind of constricted and I don't know, like more concentrated. And you're more like, yeah, like you motherfucker, yeah, all right, and it's just like it's that you're an implosion and he's an explosion, that kind of thing. So it's like
That makes sense.
it's cool.
I get that. That makes
Yeah.
sense. That makes sense.
that's the way I've always seen that. It's like a anti thing. You're like Bizarro or something. I don't know.
If you're Superman, I'm Bizarro.
Yeah.
Me make rock and roll.
Well, I guess that does it do it? Does it do it? That does it.
Let's wrap that shit up.
All right, guys. Thanks, Jim, for hanging out.
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you.
Jim. Thank you, brother.
This was a
Thanks for
great
coming
time.
out, yeah.
This was a lot of fun.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Christoph, is he over there?
He's
Christoph.
over there in the shadows. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for being
a
here.
live studio guest.
All right.
And that's it. We'll
Fuck
see you
you.
next week.
Bye.
Hit that like button. Tell your friends. All that shit.
Tell your friends.
Bye.
Subscribe.
Bye-bye.
Sounds good. It only shut off once during the podcast.
Not the live stream.
No.